You can feel it in the air, can't you? That sense that something big is ending and something else is just about to begin. Well, I'm here to tell you that feeling isn't just in your head. It's your intuition picking up on a massive cosmic event, the kind that hasn't happened since the world last rearranged itself in a fundamental way.
So let's talk numbers. Every 36 years, give or take, a really powerful planetary cycle comes to a close and then starts all over again. And these aren't your everyday events, not by a long shot. We're talking about generational milestones here, the kind that mark the very rhythm of history.
And this specific cycle is a big one. You see, every time these two planets meet, it lines up perfectly with the end of one collective story and the beginning of a whole new one. It's a moment where the world as we know it starts to kinda dissolve, really, to make room for a new dream to take root.
All right, so what are we actually talking about here? This event is called the Saturn-Neptune Conjunction, and trust me, it's a true cosmic collision. To really get why it's so powerful, we need to look up at what's happening in the sky.
So, a conjunction, that's just the astrological term for when two planets look like they're in the exact same spot from our point of view here on Earth. Imagine two completely different musical instruments suddenly hitting the very same note. Their unique sounds, their energies, they just merge together and focus into this one incredibly potent point of influence.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. Look at the timescale we're dealing with. Saturn and Neptune are way out there. They move incredibly slowly through the sky. Saturn takes almost 30 years to go around the sun, while Neptune takes, what, almost 165 years? Their orbits are so different that they only manage to meet up like this once every 3.5 decades. It's a rare meeting for sure.
So, you have these two celestial giants meeting up. What happens then? Well, to get that, you have to understand their personalities, because they couldn't be more different. We're talking about a classic case of opposites attract, or in this case, opposites collide. You've got the Lord of Reality meeting the Lord of Dreams.
On one side, you have Saturn. Think of Saturn as the ultimate realist. It's all about structure, discipline, rules, and the cold, hard facts of consequence. It governs the material world. And on the other side, you've got Neptune. Neptune is the dreamer, the mystic. It's all about ideals, spirituality, and even illusion. It dissolves boundaries and connects us to things we can't necessarily see or touch.
There's this one quote that just nails their dynamic perfectly. It goes like this: Neptune builds magnificent castles. Saturn walks in, taps on the wall, and says, "This is foam." And that's it, right? Neptune spins these beautiful, inspiring visions, but then Saturn comes along to do the inspection. It's the ultimate reality check, asking, is this actually real? Is it built to last?
So when these two get together, a few things tend to happen. Every time. Systems that are built on shaky ground, on wishful thinking, on lies, on propaganda, they start to crack. We all go through this collective experience of disillusionment, which, if you think about it, literally means the removal of an illusion. And after that bubble pops, we're challenged to rebuild something better, something more honest.
And listen, this isn't just some abstract astrological theory. If you look back through recent history, you can see this exact pattern playing out with an almost spooky level of consistency. Each one of these conjunctions landed right on a major turning point for the entire world. In 1917, you had the birth of these revolutionary new ideologies. Fast forward to 52, and the whole rigid structure of the Cold War was really locked into place. And then 1989. Well, that was the last one, and maybe the most perfect example of what this energy can do.
Think about it. The Neptunian dream of communism, which was propped up by the very Saturnian, very rigid structure of the Soviet state, was finally exposed as being hollow. Saturn met Neptune, reality came knocking, and the walls, both the literal ones and the ideological ones, just came tumbling down. Now, let's rewind 2 cycles before that, to 1917. What do we see? We see the birth of that very same dream. The Russian Revolution was this incredibly powerful Neptunian vision, a dream of a classless society that was then built using Saturn's most rigid authoritarian tools. It's the exact same dynamic, just playing out in reverse. Okay, so that brings us to the future. What makes this upcoming conjunction in 2026 so special? Why are astrologers paying such close attention to this one? Well, it all comes down to one absolutely crucial detail that sets this one apart. It's happening at 0 degrees of Aries. Think about that. 0 degrees. That's not just the start of a new 36-year cycle.
That is the absolute starting line of the entire zodiac. It's like pressing the reset button on the whole system. This is a true, genuine new beginning.
In astrology, this exact spot is known as the Aries point, and it's famous for one thing: it takes things public. It's like a cosmic megaphone. Events that happen here don't stay quiet or behind the scenes. They burst out onto the world stage and demand everybody's attention.
So what might that look like for us? Well, we can probably expect a major reality check when it comes to illusions in our financial systems and in the media. A really deep, soul-searching question of who we are as a collective, and a huge focus on rebuilding our world based on truth, especially around resources like oil and water, which, by the way, are both ruled by Neptune.
This all leads to the most important question, right? How do we deal with this? How can we become the architects of this next chapter instead of just getting swept away by the changes?
The first thing to remember is that this energy isn't something to be afraid of. It's actually an invitation. It's the universe challenging us to take our biggest dreams, our highest ideals, and figure out how to give them a real, solid, lasting structure in the world.
The trick is to work with both of these energies, not just one. So, step 1, get real, just like Saturn wants you to. Take an honest look at your life and see what's built on a shaky foundation. Step 2, clarify your vision. Get in touch with your inner Neptune. What is the beautiful, meaningful dream you actually want to build? And finally, step 3, build the bridge between them. Start taking small, disciplined, concrete actions to make that vision your reality.
In the end, this whole cycle is asking us to be two things at once: the visionary and the builder. It gives us the dream, the inspiration, and it gives us reality, the raw material. The only question left is the one it poses to every single one of us. What will you build?